Hello everyone, let's have a great start for the week 30th of January 2017. Now this week we have a lot of news coming out, both from the Eurozone, from Japan, also from the US side. So be mindful about the news. There's going to be the ECB President Draghi speech on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we've got the FOMC statement and the interest rate decision coming out. On Thursday, we have another speech by the ECB President Draghi, and also the Bank of England will give an inflation report. They'll also state an interest rate decision. So there are quite a lot of news coming out. And on Friday, we have no doubt the non-farm payroll, and that's going to be an important news as always. It's going to be the first Friday of February, so the market is going to be quite fun this week, and we'll have a lot of opportunities to trade. Let's take a look at the euro dollar. Now, as you all know, euro dollar, if we take a look at the daily, it's still in that down mode. All right, the trend is down. As you can see, the market's kind of coming down. So this week we might have a bit of a pullback again. Now, the different thing about this week, I think, is going to be this, because last week, well, let's put it back on the daily. Last week, we had a nice breakout over the course of these past 2 weeks. The market actually broke up, so we had a nice double bottom. The market broke up and it continued to go up. So this for us is actually a good sign that a new trend might be going to start, and that's going to be in an upwards move. So today, well, this week actually, if the market kind of pulls back to around this level here, this 50 range, it's going to be a good support area actually to buy and to see if that trend really does eventuate. Because if this is the beginning of a new trend, it's a nice up move, a good pullback, and a good buy might just take it all the way back up to these levels again. So we might see the euro dollar going up a fair bit if this kind of carries on and continues. And that's the 4-hour chart here. So on the 4-hour chart, this pullback now is starting, could really come quite a few steps down. As you can see, those Fibonacci levels there. So that's worth following up, and then maybe we might see a new trend starting going upwards in February. In the meantime though, if you want to enter that down move, this is going to be your support line. So any breakdown from there will take you back to the 61.8 area, which I think is good to start taking a profit as well. Also here, as you can see, that is also going to be a good support level. So a breakdown from there will take us there. A breakdown from there will take us to the next level there. So I think that's good to follow down. Pound dollar, let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. As you can see, this is also a nice move down at the moment. The pound dollar, as you know, we were short from last week. We had our lines drawn last week, so we were good to go short on this breakdown. The market is just following on. So what we now need to do is to draw a second line, and that's your support there. So if the pound breaks down there, then we've got also the opportunity to keep going down. Well, let's do this. Since the trend lines are going to be a bit off there, what you can see here is that we might see the market coming back all the way down to this range here, which is not a bad level at all. As you can see, that level was a resistance area before, that range there. So the market's pulled back to 61.8 is quite possible and quite logical. Let's take a look at the dollar yen, and let's make this a 4-hour chart. Now the dollar yen, from a double bottom here, nice up move, and as you can see, that up move is carrying on, which is great. So I think the market has a bit of potential to go even higher. So we'll probably touch this line here, there, and also if we draw some lines of support and resistance, as you can see from here, I'll just scale fix this so we can get a better perspective. As you can see, might see the dollar yen back up here, alright, if it breaks above this level here, and then we'll have a triple bottom, and then we'll be shorting it down. So that'd be a really exciting thing to follow through, I think. As you can see, there you go. That's a nice side channel. Now this up move is kind of turned into a sideways channel, and it's good that we see that. Now all we have to do is sell at the resistance levels and buy at the support levels, and just remain within this channel there until it breaks out either way. Let's take a look at the dollar franc. Let's turn this into a 4-hour chart. Now dollar franc, as you can see, what we have, let me just scale fix this up for you. Right, let's take a look at the dollar franc now. As you can see, the dollar franc is in a sideways move at the bottom right there, and we have a double, well, kind of double, this is a double bottom there. What we need to do is just, if we can break out of this range, we have room to go all the way up here. So that's around the 1.0080 region. I think that's a feasible point this week with all the news and the speeches coming out in the US. So I think the dollar franc here this week will have some value gained, and the market will probably push it up a little bit. If we take a look at it daily, let's see what we can do here. As you can see, there's a nice downfall here, and the market now stalled in this level. Now what we need to do is probably see the market coming back up around here to the 61.50 range, and then possibly going back down again, because that double top and this fall down here is probably the beginning of a new trend, if you think about it. Double top is the sign that the trend might be changing, so this big downfall is also a support of that. So the market might now start to pull back in order to sell the dollar franc currency again. But in the meantime though, in order for them to sell it, they'll want to move it up, and would like to go with that wave. So we'll be going long with the dollar franc up to here, and possibly up to these levels here. And I'll keep these lines here so it's clear for us. In fact, we can also have a few lines there as well. So there we go. So that range is one, that range is another level that we need to take a look at. Let's take a look at the Aussie dollar. Let's take a look at the daily there. Now this daily move on the Aussie dollar, as you can see, this is a huge move, and this huge move and this really strong angle here as the trend moves up is an important sign that the trend might now be changing, because first of all, we've broken this rhythm going down, and because this is now broken, a nice pullback to the 50 range might give it a good push up, just like with the euro dollar, as you can see around here and also around here. So back down to these levels here will be an opportunity to, I think, go long with the Australian dollar. Alright, so that's how the dollar is. It's worthwhile, I think, following these through. The dollar Canadian is going to take probably a different approach. Let's make this a daily. Alright, we already had a nice bounce up, and as you can see, the market sold that off. So what we might now want to look at is the dollar Canadian coming up here before they sell it off again, and this nice triangle might just break. So this range is what we're looking at here, and if it breaks down, we'll see a big push in this dollar Canadian coming all the way down. There we go. Alright, so this is good to follow. I think a nice up move before the market sells off again. Let's take a look at the dollar ZAR. Now with the dollar ZAR, as you know from previous videos that we did have a defined target around here, which was around 13.13, is there, around there, 13.15. The market came slightly above and started moving up. So the dollar now, the dollar ZAR that is, after coming back to its support levels, is going to start gaining value, okay, because this is where our targets were. As you can see, this range and that was the area, and the market just nicely popped its head down, started buying. Now all we have to do to follow this through is this resistance area here, all right, and that resistance there. So this area needs to be tested. If the market goes up here, we'll look for a resistance. If it breaks out though, this is clearly going to be a nice push towards these upper ranges here, back again. Alright, so that'll be where the dollar ZAR is heading towards. Let's take a look at some of the indices. The Dow Jones, as you know, it went beyond the 20,000 range, and we did mention 20,000 was something that they'd be testing. This is the 1 hour chart. Let's make it a 4 hour. Here we go. And now this the 20,000 range has been tested. In fact, they tested above it. So this 20,000 level now is becoming a support, as you can see. Alright, so the market is in this nice little range. It's a nice little rectangle. The market will want to be playing in between. If it breaks below that, then obviously we're going to be looking at some retracement. Okay, and that retracement coming back down to here is quite feasible. As you can see, that is a nice support level, resistance level there. So the market can really easily pull back after making that huge move, and then we'll possibly retest that level, and we might have a double top on the Dow. Let's take a look at the S&P. S&P has drawn back already. That's a nice move. I think this pullback, this is a 1 hour chart, this pullback is an opportunity to retest it again. Let's take a look at the 4 hour chart. There we go. So you can see this is clearly a big move, and then the market is now retesting it in order to repurchase. So that level here is going to be good if the market pulls back to buy again and go long. Alright, so this is a 4 hour chart here, as you can see. Alright, there we go. 4 hour chart. Let's take a look at the JSE. Once again, on the 4 hour chart here, you'll see this is a nice up move, but now the market has to pull back. So you don't want to be buyers at the top ranges here. What you want to do is just wait for the market to pull back to feasible support resistance levels before going long again. And let's see if we can draw a few trend lines here. Alright, so if you just join the bottoms, so the market can pretty much pull back to around this level here, which is rather reasonable, and that's a 50%, and from here that's a 61%. So in any case, you're good to draw your lines, and that's the way to go. Alright, so the market has got potential to pop down to this trend line, which is about the 50% mark, and then it'll start looking at picking up again. Let's take a look at DAX. DAX, same scenario here. I think is a good move. Let's make it a 4 hour chart. I think it's a good move to start buying. Where to buy is obviously going to be a retest of the breakout. So we'll be looking at DAX to pop its head back down to about 11,600 or slightly lower around there, as you can see, and then we'll see how that works. I think that'll be a good level to start buying DAX again if it pops its head down there. Alright, around the 11,600 mark I think is good for a support up again. Let's take a look at Brent. 4 hour chart. Now, as you know, with Brent we're in a sideways channel, and I have said it on a few occasions, really trading in between the ranges are very dangerous. So if you're keen on trading the Brent, what you're going to have to do is really mark your support resistances very well, really keep yourself up to date with the market, and really start trading on the support and the resistance levels, and don't do anything else. Now, the best scenario for this kind of trading on the sideways market is obviously to go long at the bottoms, the support ranges, and short at the resistance ranges. But in between here, you'll also find support resistance areas which you can really start to trade. So if the market breaks down here, for example, you can follow it down to around this level of support. If the market bounces off, you bounce off the support, play off the support and buy here. You can follow it there. If it breaks above there on a pullback, you can follow the market, let's say slightly lower around there. Alright, so in between the ranges it is a bit tricky, but if you draw your lines you can still get some trades in there. Let's take a look at gold. 4-hour chart once again. Here we go. Now, as you can see, we have a nice side move here as well. Alright, on gold. Sorry, on silver. What am I saying? This is a silver chart. So on the silver, as you can see, we have a nice sideways market. Now this looks like it's going to pull back, but only in order to go up. Let's see what we have on the daily. Alright, on the daily we have a nice divergence, lower bottom, and the market pulled up. Now what we need to do is, if it breaks above this level here, then we've got room to go up. I think with silver, what we need to do is, as you can see, that is a resistance level there, coming all the way from there on a daily chart. So the market shorting it off here is not a surprise. So what would we do today is actually, seeing that this is on the resistance level there, I think the silver is good to short with a nice tight little stop loss. Actually, you don't have to, put your stop loss really far, since the market is right on the resistance. So this is not a bad area to kind of follow down. If you're a breakout trader, what you can do is go to a smaller chart, or a 1 hour one in fact, and what you can do is say to yourself, well look, if you break this level here, I can go down. So that'd be the break of a support, and then what you can do is follow it down if you're into silver. Gold double top, as you can see, market moved down, came back for a good buy kiss, now following it short again. So this short move will probably carry on until about this level here. That's where the support is. So market will probably start to pop its head back down there again. Hope that helps. Be mindful for the news this week. It's going to be full on, a lot of opportunities to trade. All the best and good luck with your trade.